Today we are going to talk about the dessert parties available at Disney World, and we're going to compare them. People often ask me which dessert party is my favorite, and I definitely have a personal favorite, but it kind of depends on what is important to you, what would be the one that you might pick if you have the funds and time available to do it. So what I want to do today is go over what the dessert party options are at Disney World, and I can let you know in different categories which one is the best so that you can make the right decision for your family. So let's talk about what options there are first of all. There are 4 different dessert parties, and you might think there are 4 different parks, so maybe there's one at each park, but that's not true. There are actually 2 at Magic Kingdom. They are called Magic Kingdom Fireworks Dessert Party at Tomorrowland Terrace and Magic Kingdom Fireworks Dessert Party at Plaza Garden, with Plaza Garden viewing, and they are very similar. We'll talk about the differences in just a minute. The third option is the Epcot Frozen Everafter Illuminations Dessert Party. And finally, Hollywood Studios Star Wars Galactic Spectacular Dessert Party. There is not currently a dessert party in Animal Kingdom. When Rivers of Light was announced, I think a lot of us hoped that there would be, because I really like trying new things, but I'm not sure that they will ever have a dessert party for Rivers of Light. If so, I'll come back and do an update to this. But for now, the 4 are in the other 3 parks. Now, when we talk about what the best one is, we have to figure out what the different criteria are to judge that. And so I want to go over the details of each dessert party to help you. So let's talk about price, because for some people, it's the best party is the one that is the most affordable. All of the dessert parties, except for one, so 3 of them, have $79 tickets for adults and $45 to $47 tickets for children. The only exception is the Magic Kingdom Plaza Garden viewing option, which is less expensive. It's $59 for adults and $35 for kids. So if cost is your main focus, then that is definitely a great one. The Plaza Garden viewing one at Magic Kingdom, I really love that. I actually like it more than the more expensive Magic Kingdom dessert party, so that's a great value if you're looking at dollars specifically. Now, if drinks are important to you, alcoholic drinks in particular, you will not be interested in the Magic Kingdom dessert parties because those do not serve alcohol. As you may know or may not know, Magic Kingdom has historically never had alcohol available. There's an exception to that, which is that it's available to be our guest for dinner, I believe. But in general, Magic Kingdom is not a park that has alcohol available. However, alcohol is available at Epcot and Hollywood Studios. So if that's important to you, they both have really great drinks, and it might make the ticket price seem like more of a value to you if you drink alcohol. In terms of seating, there are definitely pros and cons to each party. Let's talk about the seating as you eat, because the seating as you eat can be different than the seating as you watch the nighttime show. So let's talk about the seating as you eat. Both of the Magic Kingdom dessert parties have the dessert eating in Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant. They differ in the area that you go to view the fireworks, but as far as the fireworks dessert part of it, they are both in the Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant, and you sit at tables and chairs. You may think that is silly to specifically mention tables and chairs, but just hold on, because in a second I will tell you about one party that doesn't have chairs, and to me that is a downside. At Epcot, for the Frozen Ever After party, there are chairs and tables. They're assigned ahead of time, so when you check in, they tell you which table you've been assigned. It's outside, it's an uncovered area, but you do have tables and chairs to sit at. And finally, the Hollywood Studios dessert party, the Star Wars one, there are tables but no chairs, and this could be a real downside, especially if you have children who, may not like to stand and eat. They may get fidgety. I know when I was there were a lot of lightsabers being played with because the kids were not contained in any particular spot. So in terms of seating, I much prefer the locations that do offer tables and chairs. Now let's talk about the view during the nighttime show at each park. When you have the Magic Kingdom Fireworks Dessert Party at Tomorrowland Terrace, you stay in Tomorrowland Terrace restaurant and you sit at the tables and chairs to watch. This view is slightly off center from the castle, and you are under a roof, and a lot of people in this area will go up to the railing to watch. And so it's not as good, in my opinion, as the second option, which is the Plaza Garden. To me, the Plaza Garden area is the perfect spot to watch Happily Ever After fireworks at Magic Kingdom, so this view is perfect. Let's move on to Epcot. The view is from the World Showcase Plaza. There's a section of Epcot that separates the World Showcase from Future World, and it's right there. It's not super advantageous because Illuminations takes place in the World Showcase, where there's tons of places that you could view it all around the World Showcase. However, it is nice that you get to sit and have your own table and chair to watch, because most people do not have that. But it's not a real advantageous view. So in terms of best view, the Epcot party is not my top pick. But finally, we have the Hollywood Studios one, which is in an ideal location right in front of the Great Movie Ride. Well, it used to be called the Great Movie Ride, but in front of the Chinese Theater, and that is where the projections are shown. It is an ideal, perfect spot. So in terms of best view, I would pick the Plaza Garden dessert party and the Hollywood Studios one for having the best view. Let's talk about the food, because the food does vary. I would say if we are judging by best food, I would put Magic Kingdom in last place, because I don't think it is quite as tasty as the other options. I do think that Epcot has great desserts at the Frozen Ever After dessert party. That includes fondue and pudding cake and bonbons and fresh fruit and what's it called? It's a popcorn that they like freeze. I can't remember the name right now, but that's very popular. But my personal favorite in terms of tastiness happens to be the Hollywood Studios Star Wars dessert party. They have lots of Star Wars themed treats, as you might expect, and that includes like fried Nutella truffle, bread pudding, fresh fruit, lots of great cupcakes, that kind of stuff. So in terms of best food, my picks would be for Epcot and Hollywood Studios. Let's talk about special extras that are available at each. The Hollywood Studios dessert party, they give you a plastic souvenir Chewbacca stein that you can take with you. But at the Frozen Ever After dessert party, they take you on a ride on Frozen Ever After. So that's pretty incredible that after Illuminations ends, you wait for a few minutes and then you are taken by cast members and you get to be the last ones to ride Frozen Ever After for the night. So that's a huge perk. So even though the Epcot dessert party doesn't give you an advantageous view like the other ones do, being able to go on that ride afterwards is a huge perk that you don't get with the other dessert parties. So let's see what else. In terms of booking, Disney says that you can book them all like 180 days in advance, but the reality is they often are not available, so you just have to keep checking. And when it comes time to book, you can count on the Magic Kingdom options being available pretty much every night that fireworks are showing. The Frozen option is available a few nights a week. The days will vary on that a little bit. And the one at Hollywood Studios is available every night that the Star Wars dessert party is available. There are other dessert parties available during special events, like during Halloween party, Christmas party, during the Jingle Bell Jingle Bam show at Hollywood Studios. There are special ones that we haven't talked about here. In general, if the dessert party is offered during a party, I'm not a big fan of it because it takes such a big chunk of time out of a party that you've already paid for. And I don't necessarily think they're a huge perk because there's things that you can eat during the party. It's usually easier to find a view than during normal park hours. So I don't necessarily recommend those. But in terms of these that we have talked about today, my personal favorite is the Star Wars Hollywood Studios dessert party. And I'm not even a big Star Wars fan. I am not really much of a fan at all. But I really think it's just good food, good drinks, perfect view. I really like it. My second place one, if I had to pick another favorite, would definitely be the Plaza Garden Magic Kingdom dessert party. Not only is it less expensive than the others, but I think the view is absolutely perfect. Happily Ever After is pretty complicated to go see, so when you have a guaranteed garden area to watch it from, it is pretty perfect, and I think really alleviates a lot of stress because a lot of people will line up way ahead of time to get that view, and you don't have to worry about it if you book the dessert party. So I have just a couple tips if you do plan to book a dessert party. First one is show up 30 minutes before the time Disney tells you to. So I've seen this multiple times where Disney will say, for instance, show up at 6:30 for the dessert party to get checked in, and people really had started lining up about 6. And so my suggestion is definitely to get there earlier than what Disney says. That'll give you first dibs at the desserts before they're picked over, and that will, I think that works out better for most people. Secondly, for the parties that serve alcohol, which is Epcot and Hollywood Studios, you'll have different lines for different desserts and alcoholic drinks. So if you are interested in drinking the alcoholic drinks, make sure you get more than one. That way you'll save yourself some time, and they're included with your ticket price. So when you go up there, just say, I'd like 2 of whatever it is, or however many you can carry, just to save yourself some trouble so you don't have to get up and down quite as often. So I think that'll wrap it up. I will have a link to reviews of all the dessert parties in the description below, and we'll see you next time.